What if I told you that thousands of years ago, India was home to one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth, a land of forgotten wisdom, mighty empires, and a struggle that changed the world? This is the extraordinary story of a civilization that...
Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're taking on a truly epic journey. Our goal is to explore the magnificent chronological synthesis of the Indian subcontinent. We're going to trace the steps of human civilization from the prehistoric Stone Age all the way through to the modern struggle for independence. It's a story of incredible resilience, profound philosophical breakthroughs, and absolutely massive economic shifts.
So let's just dive right into our flight path for today. We're going to navigate through 6 transformative epochs. First, the dawn of the Indus, followed by the Vedic era, India's golden age, the Mughal Empire, life under the British Raj, and finally, the struggle for independence.
But before we even look at cities and empires, we have to grasp the sheer scale of this history. Anatomically modern humans actually arrived in the Indian subcontinent up to 73,000 years ago. No, really. Because of that incredibly deep continuous human presence, the region developed a population that today is second only to Africa in human genetic diversity. It's quite literally an ancient cradle of humanity. All right, Section 1. Dawn of the Indus, the first cities. That deep prehistoric foundation seamlessly transitions into our first major epic, zooming in on the very beginnings of settled urban life in the subcontinent. Let's see how this builds because it happens incredibly fast. As early as 7000 BCE, sedentary agricultural life firmly established itself at sites like Mehrgarh. People are farming, they're domesticating animals. Then, by 3300 BCE, the Bronze Age kicks off. And this gradually evolves so that by 2600 BCE, the mature Indus Valley Civilization was absolutely flourishing. It went from early farming to one of the world's most expansive early civilizations in the blink of an eye, historically speaking. When you really zoom in on the micro details of Harappan daily life, their urban planning is absolutely staggering. I mean, they built complex, baked brick cities featuring sophisticated roadside drainage systems and a level of municipal organization that successfully supported up to 5 million people. They also developed advanced metallurgy, working with copper, bronze, and tin. Oh, and they created the Indus script, an ancient writing system that, fascinatingly enough, remains completely undeciphered today. It's like a giant puzzle we're still trying to solve.
Moving on to Section 2, the Vedic era. Foundations of faith. Eventually, persistent droughts caused the Indus Valley populations to scatter from those large urban centers. And this introduces a dramatic shift marked by the arrival of Indo-Aryan tribes and the birth of some foundational philosophies.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this period's second urbanization birthed ideas that literally changed the globe. Between 800 and 200 BCE, as new urban centers popped up along the Ganges Plain, these ascetic movements known as Shramana emerged. They fundamentally challenged traditional ritual orthodoxy and introduced these profound religious concepts like samsara, the cycle of birth and death, and the pursuit of spiritual liberation. This entire intellectual environment ultimately gave rise to Jainism and Buddhism.
To anchor our transition into the age of great, unified empires, just think about the number 200,000. That was the massive infantry strength of the Nanda Empire. And that's not even counting their thousands of cavalry and war elephants. It was this staggering centralization of military and political power that really laid the groundwork for the famous Mauryan Empire that followed right after.
The Mauryan Empire unified most of the Indian subcontinent into a single state, and its absolute peak is defined by King Ashoka. Now, after leading the immensely bloody Kalinga War, Ashoka experienced a profound philosophical shift. He completely shunned violence, embraced Buddhism, and dedicated the rest of his rule to spreading peace and non-violence across his vast empire. He even sponsored Buddhist missions into the Indo-Mediterranean and Southeast Asia, bringing about this remarkable era of social harmony.
Which brings us to Section 3, India's Golden Age, the Classical Period. Following the Mauryan decline, we enter a really vibrant era of intense cultural synthesis, artistic explosion, and imperial reunification. The foundation of this golden age was built on incredibly dynamic trade networks. In the 1st century CE, the Kushan Empire up in the northwest linked maritime routes directly to the commerce of the Silk Road. Meanwhile, down south, the Satavahana dynasty flourished, creating vital cultural and trade bridges. All of these interconnected networks funneled massive wealth and new ideas straight into the 4th century CE, initiating the unprecedented prosperity of the Gupta Empire.
During this era, India held an estimated 1/3 of the world's wealth. 1/3. And the milestones really reflect that prosperity.
we see a powerful resurgence of Hindu philosophy alongside Buddhist patronage. There are massive astronomical and mathematical advances by scholars like Aryabhata, the development of the Hindu-Arabic numeral system, literally the exact numbers you and I use every single day, and breathtaking architectural marvels like the rock-cut Ajanta caves. Plus, Indian mathematics and high-quality root steel from this era deeply influenced the Arab world and subsequently global scientific development. It was a real game changer.
Next up, Section 4, the Mughal Empire Economic Powerhouse. Fast forwarding past the dynamic medieval sultanates and Rajput kingdoms that dominated the next several centuries, we arrive at the early modern period and the sweeping arrival of the Mughals. So the crucial point here, the sheer scale of this empire really comes down to one staggering figure, 24.4%. Under the Mughal Empire, the Indian subcontinent became the globe's biggest manufacturing power, controlling nearly a quarter of the entire world economy. Under rulers like Aurangzeb, India even surpassed King China as the world's largest economic power. Just massive. Founded by Babur in 1526, the Mughal era was defined by intense agrarian reforms that drove rapid proto-industrialization. Emperors like Akbar purposefully fused local traditions to build a highly tolerant, wealthy, syncretic Indo-Persian culture. And this incredible fusion of art, wealth, and architecture, well, it culminated in breathtaking triumphs like the Taj Mahal in Agra. Moving into Section 5, under the British Raj, colonial rule. By the 18th century, shifting dynamics of power, Maratha expansion, and the arrival of European traders brought Mughal dominance to an end. This transitions us into the era of colonial rule. And this brilliantly illustrates the stark difference in how colonial power was wielded over time. Initially, you had the English East India Company, which was essentially aggressive corporate control utilizing subsidiary alliances and outright massive land annexations. But following the widespread 1857 rebellion by Indian soldiers against the company, British Crown rule took over directly. This subsequent era of the British Raj was characterized by institutionalized administration, the implementation of English instruction, and a massive expansion of infrastructure, including what became the fourth largest railway system in the entire world. But it's absolutely essential to acknowledge the devastating human toll of this period. Throughout colonial rule, the subcontinent experienced some of the deadliest famines in recorded human history. The Great Famine of 1876 to 78 alone saw upwards of 10.3 million people perish. Later, the Bengal Famine of 1943 claimed millions more. These were severe crises that were frequently exacerbated by the administrative and wartime policies of the colonial government. Finally, Section 6, Struggle for Independence, the Final Push. Moving into our last historical epoch, we look at how the resilience and mobilization of the Indian people steadily coalesced into a unified, powerful push for self-rule. This organized political awakening happened remarkably fast. The Indian National Congress was formed in 1885, laying the groundwork for a structured anti-colonial movement. Then, in 1906, the All India Muslim League was established. Soon after, the immense global shifts of the world wars accelerated everything. Over 1 million Indian troops served in World War I alone. These immense sacrifices and organized political pressures catalyzed the movement that finally achieved independence in 1947. Synthesizing all of this, the road to 1947 was really paved by massive overlapping forces. You had the profound intellectual awakening of the Bengali Renaissance questioning orthodoxies, a massive nationwide struggle led by figures like Mahatma Gandhi, and of course, the heavy toll of World War II. Ultimately, these combined social and political forces fractured British rule, leading to the creation of 2 new independent nations through the partition of the British Indian Empire into India and Pakistan. Which brings us to the end of our timeline and leaves us with this final provocative question to consider. We've journeyed from the earliest brick cities of the Indus Valley all the way to the dawn of the modern era. After millennia of absorbing empires, ideas, religions, and cultures, how does the synthesis of this vast, complex subcontinent shape the identity of modern South Asia today? It's a deeply rich, ongoing history, and I really hope this explainer has given you the foundational context you need to keep exploring it on your own.